Where are we now?
Oh, sorry to interrupt you. It's Bill, the clerk again, just to let everybody know we're recording.
We are recording, yeah,
Yes.
okay. Right, let's just cut that off. Right, okay. So, Manera is one of your clients, is that right, Mr. Domleo?
Yes, Chair.
Yeah.
So on the call, I've got Joshua Linds, who is one of the managers, and Manera Tapper, sorry, who is the premise license holder, the applicant.
Okay. Right. So we were looking at things being put in by the app. Am I right, Bill? You're going to have to. Somebody's going to have to tell me where we got to and where we're moving on. So we're looking at the applicant's evidence, or were we looking at? Can somebody tell me where we got to?
Chair, perhaps it's Kenny's, the legal advisor here. Perhaps I could help. So at last week's hearing, the point we left this matter at, the point it was adjourned, was the applicant had made their submissions, they had addressed the panel, and the panel was asking questions. And as far as my attendance notes go for the last hearing, Councillor Giles and Councillor Asim had asked their questions, and we were at a point where you were addressing, asking the applicant to confirm their position with regards to the videos that were submitted by the objector. In particular, you were referring to the video where there was a fight, the recordings of a fight. So that's where we were last week.
Okay, so you've now seen those. Do you mind if I call you George?
Of course, Chair. Yeah, please do. It's easier.
It's easier for me. Okay, yeah, you've now seen all of those videos now, and your clients has as well.
Correct.
Do you have any comments to make about the fight? Or
I do, Chair. Yes, I've got. I don't know how you want to play it, because I can go through each video, or I can pick out, because there's 6 in total. And I have.
I'll tell you what. I'll let you go through the videos in your order, and then you know, we've all seen them as well, so we know what we're talking about. Perfect,
Chair. Sounds like a good plan. So video 407, which is the 19th of June 2022, I believe. I'm not sure whether it appears the videos show the time, but I do know the dates. However, I would submit that it's taken at some point early in the evening, as it looks fairly light. You can hear, I believe, a hip hip hooray on the video, so I would presume it's some sort of birthday celebration. It all appears to be in good spirits, and towards the end of the 24-second clip, it all quietens back down to general customer noise that you would hear in any beer garden. It would also see that Mr. Siddiqui, has recorded this video from the actual boundary wall and not from his property, which, as I understand, is on the 2nd floor of the flats behind in King's House, I believe the property is called. There is video 507, which is the 23rd of June 2022. My client has advised that in the beer garden there was a woman with 4 friends and maybe 2 kids had come to celebrate a birthday. My client didn't realise they had brought a small portable karaoke machine until it started, and the staff immediately asked them to stop. Video 941. This is on the 14th of November, 14th November 2021. Sorry. This is where the fight took place away from the premises. It was not in the car park, but in the junction of the road. The premises had just closed and dispersed the customers. And as you can see from the footage, some of my client's door supervisors go across and intervene and try to separate it all up. I submit, councillors, that if this was a regular occurrence at the premises, or the police were unhappy, then the police would have submitted a representation to our variation, but they haven't. And furthermore, councillors, I would draw your attention to paragraph 2.21 of the section 182 guidance, which states that beyond the immediate area surrounding the premises, These are matters for the personal responsibility of individuals under the law. An individual who engages in antisocial behaviour is accountable in their own right. Video 317, which is the 3rd of September 2022. This is a video of what I presume is Mr. Siddiqui approaching people who have parked in the King's House parking spaces. There is nothing from the video footage which even suggests that these individuals have come from KTM Rocks. Video 600, sorry, the numbers are the last 3 digits of the file, sorry. So video 600 is dated 13th of November 2021, so almost a year ago, councillors. A 39-second clip showing customers in the beer garden. The noise seems to be at a minimum, and the roads and cars sound actually noisier. And then lastly, video 313, the 19th of June 2022. This one again appears to be a birthday or some sort of celebration, followed by a round of applause and a cheer. Again, I would say that this appears to be early on in the night, and it would appear that Mr. Siddiqui is again recording this from the boundary wall, and the noise lasts all of 10 seconds. That's the 6 videos, I believe. I don't know whether Munira and Josh want to add anything else on about the videos.
There's no further comment from myself, George. Councillor Foote.
No, the video I think for the fight was from last year as well, so no other comments on that.
Right. Okay. Any questions from members? Gabriella, do you have any questions?
About the videos? No,
Yeah.
it was fine. My questioning was completed on when we met last week.
Okay. Medea, do you have any questions about the video?
No, Chair, thank you.
Right. When you say that, can you just explain the boundary wall? Is that you're talking about the boundary wall of the pub or the boundary wall of the flats? I'm not sure.
That's the boundary wall of our premise, Councillor Foote. The boundary wall of the.
So you're saying that they've come
garden.
to the boundary wall and taken the pictures from there?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So where are we at now? Somebody tell me. Is that all of the questions for the applicant that you need to ask? Any other questions, Gabriella, Medea? Any other questions of the applicant?
No,
No.
thank you.
Sorry, Councillor Foote, it's Rita.
Yeah.
Mr. Siddiqui might want to ask questions of the applicants.
Yeah, I know. I was just going to come to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if there are any other questions, yeah. Mr. Siddiqui, do you have questions of the applicant?
Yeah, everybody can hear me, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. What did you say?
I'm saying everybody can hear me loud and clear, right?
I think we could, but Councillor Foote can't.
No, it's not. It's a bit muddled.
Let me
Hang on.
try.
Can you just give me 1 second? So I would get my hearing aids.
Does this improve?
I apologize. I thought I'd put my hearing aids in, but I haven't. So I was at a bit of a disadvantage.
Ah, that explains it, Richard.
So my wife had just gathered them up and was passing them out of the door to me. Right. That should be better now. Okay, Mr. Siddiqui, what were you saying? Sorry.
Yeah, it's just that everybody can hear me now, loud and clear, right?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear now.
All right. Yeah, so I just wanted to first respond to whatever the objections are on that evidence. First of all, I don't really understand that how the law of sound works. Maybe there is a wall of some supernatural abilities which just stops the noise after the pub, and if I am recording it outside the wall, it makes something of a difference because I can't hear what's going on the other side. So that's what I think the applicant are trying to say, that it's because it's been recorded from the other side of the wall, we don't hear anything. I hear
Sorry,
every
Mr. Siddiqui.
every
Mr.
every
Siddiqui.
scream.
Chair, it's Kiniz Ali. I'm the legal advisor. Mr. Siddiqui, this is your point to ask questions to the applicant. You can make your submissions later on, but right now, what the panel is asking you is, do you have any questions for the applicant? You can address the panel with your views and thoughts, or your submissions later on, but right now you need to ask questions.
My question from the applicant is that when we had a last hearing, and it was clearly come to a conclusion that we are next to a resident building and we have to be courteous and we have to be considerate for the other residents as well. How come the applicants thought that playing outdoor music and having outdoor live performances all throughout the summer was a considerate behavior towards the residents? I'm specifically talking about outdoor performances, going whole through the evening, and karaoke performances. It's not one instance. It has happened continuously.
Sorry, there's a question, Mr. Siddiqui. Is there a question here?
Yeah, question is that how come they thought that once we are disturbed from their customers being outdoors, and the panel previously put restrictions on to them because of that, and as soon as they came out of that hearing, what made them understand that now playing loud outdoor live and recorded music would make our life any better, or would not
No,
impact us?
I think that what we need to address is what is under the Licensing Act, and the ability to use the garden in the early evening is there. That's part of their license.
Yeah, but having outdoor music and outdoor live performances,
I'm not with you.
I don't really understand that. Our living area, yeah, they are having outdoor performances, music, bands playing outdoor in their garden area. So how can our resident living in the 2-bedroom flat? How can we cope with that for 3-4 hours, continuous live band playing
Sorry,
music?
are you saying these are happening into the small hours? I mean, our recordings, our evidence on your recording is that this music was taking place at 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, 8 o'clock at night, and it happens throughout the evening. It starts at 6 o'clock and it goes up to 10:30. It's 3-4 hours of continuous loud live band and recorded music which carries on.
Well, the recordings that you provided were mainly around about 8 o'clock in the evening, not later.
Yeah. No, it carries on. I have got recordings. That's why I said to you that.
Well, I don't know what question it is that you're asking of the client. That's my problem. What questions?
My question is that already what they do is already infringement of our privacy and our quality of life. Whatever is happening in the building since the previous hearing of the panel, they instantly went into the violation, and there was a warning issued to them after coming out of the hearing. So anything giving them anything more will only make our life worse. They already do not comply with
Mr.
any.
Siddiqui,
Yeah, but what's the question? I still not got a question.
Mr. Siddiqui, sorry, I think Caniz is going to just explain what we are going to do and what the process is, so that you're aware of when you can make your statement and what we do at this point in our hearing.
thank you, Councillor Giles.
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Siddiqui, if you could just limit your question now to the applicant, you'll have an opportunity, as I explained earlier, you'll have an opportunity to address the panel with your submissions later on. But at this moment in time, you are only to ask a question. If you don't have any questions for the applicant, not addressing the panel, but asking a question to the applicant, then I will be asking the panel to move on.
Okay,
All
my
right.
question to the applicant is, why don't they close their 10 o'clock or 10:30 their garden area and move people to the front?
Didn't understand that.
Could you repeat that question, Mr. Siddiqui?
My question was that what is the problem applicants have to close their garden area at 10:30 and move all their activities to the front so that we don't get disturbed? What is the problem in that?
Hello, this is Bill the clerk. Mr. Siddiqui is asking the applicants why they don't close the rear garden area at 10:30 p.m.
Is that something? Do you want us to respond to that?
That's his question to you, to the
Okay.
applicant.
The simple response to that is that we close the garden as per the license conditions in terms of people eating and drinking at 10 o'clock. The garden is then used as a smoking area as per the license conditions until 11 o'clock. The reason why we don't move people in at, did you say 10:30? Is because
For that activity.
the license to use the garden until 11 o'clock for smoking, we're licensed to use the garden until 11 o'clock for smoking. That would be the answer.
You have a restriction to a number of people you can have there?
No.
If I may assist councillors, the proposal to extend the time of use for the beer garden to 11 o'clock is for customers, as I probably alluded to last week, and apologies if I'm repeating myself, is for customers to continue drinking and consuming food in that area. There's no proposal to have live or recorded music until 11 o'clock in that area, just for customers to enjoy the food and drink which is on offer at the premises.
See here, I asked the question and George doesn't know that there is a limit of 10 people for him, not more than 10 people outdoors for smoking. And that video that I provided, that was long after 11:30, when people were outside smoking and cheering and shouting, and none of them were drinking. You could see either he was having a dry day in the pub and nobody had drinks. So they exploit whatever provisions have been given to them, and they do not follow the restrictions that they were told on the last panel. And it's
Sorry, can I just interject that
And
the
our
tension wall is after 11 o'clock?
if they will be given more provisions, our life will be devastated. We already suffer a lot.
Sorry, the restrictions for 10 people in the garden is after 11 o'clock at night, not 10:30 or 10. And we actually close, even though we are allowed to have 10 people in the garden after 11, we actually close the garden then. It's not 10 people, as you've said, like after 10 o'clock.
Sorry, is that 10 people smoking, or is it 10 people doing something else?
10 people smoking.
It's 10 people smoking, and we close the garden every week at 11 o'clock, and we have a smoking area at the front of the restaurant, so there's never anyone outside after 11 o'clock in the garden.
So
Chair,
that video
if
shows people at the back, they are well after 11 o'clock and they are a lot more than 10 people.
Well, the evidence we have, Mr. Siddiqui, is that you've given us is 8 o'clock.
No,
We don't have any evidence that you've given us that says later than that.
Sir, there is a video where you can see people in the garden side smoking, right?
Yes, but the videos were at 8 o'clock at night.
No, that video is not of 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
That's
they
well
are.
after.
We had them timed. That's
not
what we've been
true.
asking.
So at 8 o'clock, nobody was drinking outside area and they were all confined into one corner. Can you see that video? No one is drinking. No one has beer glasses in their hand at 8 o'clock. And they are all in one corner of the outdoor area garden. And there are a lot more than 11, 10 people. There are at least 20, 25 people. And this happens all the time. Even after closure, their staff is sitting on the left side, which is an open area. I don't know whether it's for their storage or whatever. They just fail to realize that the building behind and the area behind us.
Right. Can we get back to a question, Mr. Siddiqui? Are you asking a question of the
I have provided the evidence that they did not follow the conditions since the conditions have been put up to them. If you give them any more,
Siddiqui, that's not a question, Mr. Siddiqui. That's not a question. Can you please limit your point to a question? And also, Mr. Siddiqui, hold on. I'm still talking.
Yeah.
If you could limit yourself to a question. If you have any further questions, you can ask the questions to the applicant. And Chair, what I wanted to direct you is your attention, the panel's attention, to the videos as well as the metadata that the panel has considered in terms of the times for those videos. Because when you look at the videos, obviously the time doesn't show on that. And so you've got to look at the metadata that appears when you're looking at the individual videos.
Is that telling us what times they were being recorded?
Yes, Richard.
Yeah, well, so I was asking of Call's.
Yes, Councillor, that's right. That's what the details of each video shows.
And they are approximately 8 o'clock in the evening.
Each video was recorded at different times, and according to the information for the videos, they were recorded at after 8 p.m. The last one is at 9:37 p.m. Or the latest one was at 9:37 p.m.
Okay. Right. Do you have any more questions, Mr. Siddiqui?
No, I just want to tell the panel that there are videos of 8:30. That fight is not happening at 8.
No. Do you have any questions of the applicants?
Yeah, I just asked George, does he know what the restriction is for people who come out to smoke? Is the number of people restriction? And he said that there is none. He just responded in front of, so he doesn't know.
No, actually, sorry. Again, just to respond, I was referring to the period of time for which we use the garden as a smoking area between 10 and 11 o'clock. When there is no restriction, there is a restriction after 11 o'clock that it's 10 people to use a smoking area, but we close the garden after 11 o'clock and we have up to 10 people smoking at a designated smoking area in the front of the restaurant. I know full well what the restrictions are on the license.
So then the video I provide that shows more than 10 people being outside much after 11 o'clock. So you do know that you are violating the conditions.
Yeah, Mr. Siddiqui, do you have evidence of all of this? Because you haven't shown it to us. What you've shown us is something at 8 o'clock at night.
Yes, no, I've got evidences, sir. It's not like that we make things up. We don't want to cause trouble to anybody, but they were just saying that they realized that there was a karaoke going on and they stopped it. The whole evening that karaoke went on for. They didn't stop it. There was only they stopped. I have messages with Josh when I said to him that you are having outdoor live band performances. It's really not conducive. It's very, very disrespectful towards our privacy. You are having a band right in the middle of the garden and you are playing live band, live drums and everything. How can we cope with that? And he simply rejected my request. And after 3 days, only when the noise team decided that they're going to come and hit me.
Look, Mr. Siddiqui, I'm going to cut you off now. You're not asking questions. You're making statements. So I'm assuming you've asked all of your. I'm assuming you've asked all your questions.
And I have an evidence as well for later activities after 11 o'clock. You want me to send them? I have an evidence.
No, if you wanted to submit them, you had the opportunity to submit them prior to this event starting. You cannot submit other evidence at this stage.
So that's what I'm saying, that the video which shows people in the outdoor area in the night, that video is not of 8 o'clock. That's
you cannot show it now. You cannot submit that evidence now.
That is submitted already. That is submitted already.
No, it doesn't.
Chair, it's Kenny's. I think we have to move on because we're going around in circles.
We are.
And therefore, to save everyone's time, we need to move on because clearly we're going over the same issue. Mr. Siddiqui, the panel will now. Mr. Siddiqui, please don't talk over me. The panel will now carry on with the process that they need to follow for the purposes of today's hearing. You've had the opportunity to ask questions to the applicant. You've asked them now, they've answered you. Mr. Siddiqui, I haven't finished. The panel will now carry on. Thank you, Chair.
Right, is there any other objectors that have got any questions to ask of the applicant?
Councillor Foote, sorry, I just need 2 minutes for a comfort break, if that's okay. I'll be
sure.
like,
yeah.
Won't be long.
Go on, I've got the clock counted. Is there any other objectors that we know of present, Kenise?
No, Chair, not that I've been told of anyone else attending this afternoon.
Okay, so now our process should be.
My understanding is that Mr. Siddiqui is the only objector attending today.
So we now move on to. We'll be moving on to Mr. Siddiqui's evidence, or the evidence of the objectors. Is that the next stage, Kenise? Just trying to get back up to date with where we're at with all of this.
Is it now not questions for the objector?
No, we've already finished the questions in terms of to the applicant. So we now move on to the next stage, which is for the other persons to then address the panel and make their submissions. So it's Mr. Siddiqui's chance to address the panel.
Right. Mr. Siddiqui, are you there?
Yes, I am, sir.
Yeah, well, you now have the opportunity to address the panel with your complaints.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry for the earlier confusion and all. I just wanted to let.
Sorry, Chair, it's Kenise again. I'm sorry, Mr. Siddiqui. Chair, you need to remind Mr. Siddiqui that he has 5 minutes to speak.
Yeah, you have 5 minutes for this process, Mr. Siddiqui.
Yes, yeah, I just wanted to bring into the attention of the panel that there was previously a review and the panel did acknowledge the fact that the building is a residential building now, which are directly affected from the activities which go around in the premises, especially the outdoors activities directly affect us. So panel did put some restrictions in, and what has happened in that since that hearing, the situations or the considerations which panel took at that time, they have only increased. There are more children now, and they are getting into more routine in life. There were children smaller before, now they need to go to school, they need to have some study time and everything, and it's just 2-bedroom flats, and we have nowhere else to go other than to sit in our living room for our reading activities or whatever. So anything that goes on outdoors in the garden area do affect us. So in terms of that, the sensitivity has only increased rather than it has reduced from the previous hearing. Other, I want to bring into the panel in attention that when the previous hearing was done, after a couple of weeks, the establishment was in direct contradiction for what they were told to do, and they were given warnings and their tents were cancelled. And it was all done in writing. I got emails from the noise team as well. So I've got all that evidence. So obviously the approach of the establishment has never been considerate towards the surroundings. So we don't expect to be left on their disposal, that they would behave properly and we would have some peace in our life. There is a problem now. People have started coming in our parking when they are finished with their drinking and everything. People come to their cars and then they just refuse to leave. They start having chats and fights or shouts or whatever fun they want to have, and it is more problematic because they're being behind the building, they can see that there's nobody to see them when they are in the park. That's another thing. But now this has started happening as well, and it has been happening for quite a while now. And when they scream and shout at 12 o'clock in the night, the kids' bedroom, the only windows we have is towards the parking, and then kids get scared and they wake up, and God knows how we do things. So I would request the panel to see, and if they could be, what I would expect is more restrictions rather than giving them more leverage. We do suffer from that 10 people provision that already been given to them. They have violated that. I have provided the evidence where people of more than 20 are outside smoking and talking and chatting and whatever. They play loud outdoor music. They play live bands outdoors. They have karaoke outdoors. So all this is happening after when panel had advised the establishment that you have to be courteous towards your other residents around you, and panel did try to restrict their activities outdoors in terms of timings or whatever, but it's really not helping. And if panel gives them any more leverage, it would only make our life more miserable and only increase our suffering. We have kids. I had one kid when all this started. Now I have 3. My 2 kids go to school. They have to study. They have to sleep on time. They have to wake up on time. There are a lot of things that now are coming into, and this 2-bedroom flat and lounge needs much more utility than what it was before. And our living room is completely done from 6 o'clock till 10:30, 11 o'clock. You can't do anything there. You can't do reading. You can't do any concentration. Yes, in summers, Josh and this KTM Ross expects us to have our windows closed so that we have no ventilation, and in scorching heat, we should just restrict ourselves and suffer so that they can have their outdoor music and outdoor karaoke and outdoor bands. Yes, we can live up with people having a chat, having food outdoors. That's understandable, but just encouraging them to be more loud, more antisocial within the premises as well until 10:30. That's not very helpful. That's not very considerate. So I would request panel, they are our only hope to help us retain some peace and some quality of life. Really, thank you.
Right, thank you, Mr. Siddiqui. Right, any questions of Mr. Siddiqui? Councillor Giles, do you have any questions?
Are we not going alphabetically? Sorry, Councillor Foote, are we not going alphabetically?
I just went from the left to right.
No, okay, no, it's fine. Sorry, Councillor Seymour, do you mind going first? And I'm still kind of processing and
All right, okay.
That's fine.
Asim, yeah. Do you wish to have any questions?
Just a couple, Chair. Thank you. Firstly, Mr. Siddiqui, can you just confirm for clarity purposes, please, would you say that the majority of the noise generated from the premises is from their garden, or have you heard something from the inside the venue as well?
No, it's mainly from the garden.
So the inside noise level has been acceptable according to you?
Well, all the inside activities have been brought to the garden now. Before the hearing last time, the music and everything used to be inside. But the problem was that they were carrying on their garden until 2, 3 o'clock, and there were petitions and everything. And when that has happened, the hearing has happened, they have brought all their activities outdoors. Now they play outdoor music. Now they play outdoor bands. So
Right. So have you had any communication with the owners about this? Have you brought this to their attention, and what was the outcome?
yeah, when there was a whole week when they were playing outdoor band, live music band, and I told Josh and I texted him, and he told me that no, they are entitled to have outdoor music and outdoor parties and outdoor all that. And I said to him that conditions, I don't know, there's a problem of comma or a full stop. The condition says outdoor activities, but the music comes after the comma, or music comes before the comma, but sporting activities come in that same line. But somehow sporting activities do be considered indoors, but the music because of that comma comes out to the provision of being outdoors. So he completely rejected my any request or whatever my concern was. And I continuously, because it went on for 4 or 5 days, I complained to the noise team first day, I complained it to the second day, and third day when they decided to actually visit, only then they stopped doing it after the 4th day of continuous playing it. And when I spoke to Ian myself, when they started this outdoor music thing and everything, Ian clearly told me that outdoor music and outdoor music activities do directly affect you. And if you are to put in a request for a review or anything, the noise team will support you in that does affect you if anything is played outdoors. But we didn't put into that. Everything came out after COVID. I thought they were just having people outdoors, having food, having everything. How much noise would you make if you're having a food? But if you are listening to music and then you have to cheer on it afterwards as well, and if you have live performances, you're obviously encouraging people to be more loud. So I didn't know that they would take it to this extent that they will start playing live bands and live performances and drunk people having karaoke outdoors. I've never seen it outdoors anywhere.
Have
But
you
they
got
don't seem to
evidence?
have any reason, or they.
Sorry, Mr. Siddiqui, have
When
you
I
got any
texted
evidence?
Josh.
Because you've not really included that in the evidence or the objections that you've provided.
Yes, I have got evidence of everything. If you want me, I can put it. It's all in my cell phones. I put the video of people being outdoors after 11:30, lot more than 10. If that's a straightforward violation of the condition which has been put. I have given a video of outdoor music being very loud and then people after cheering on it. So I thought that would give you some of the idea, but that's only the tip of the iceberg. What goes on, you have no idea. Sometimes their employees, they are outdoors on the side of the KTM rocks, and they scream and shout and take all their frustrations out that they're not being paid properly and all that. I have sent those to noise team as well. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the night, and they don't seem to understand that when they do that outdoors, it all echoes in our area because we have a hollow parking space with 3 buildings around. So whenever they scream and shout, it all echoes here. But they don't really care.
Mr. Siddiqui, is it possible for me to request for you to perhaps ask your children to go to another room, because I can't hear you properly. I'm not sure if all the other panel members can hear you properly as well. It is causing disturbance in terms of hearing. So if I could request you to maybe go into a room where it's quieter, please. Thank you.
I understand. So So when the noise team did say to me that if you'll go in a review, we will second you in that their outdoor music and their outdoor. At that time, it was just music. I didn't go in there. I didn't go that route. I thought it's COVID. All right, they're gonna play music. They'll play music. All right, how it's just a background, a little bit of soft music or whatever. But then they moved on to having live performances, bands, drums, pianos, live karaoke, people wishing each other on mics. It's your birthday, it's your marriage day. What if you like? As I get an outdoor permission of having outdoor parties, like I can run a place as well. Then
I mean, we're in quite a difficult position here on the panel because we can base our judgment solely on the evidence that has been submitted. Because those noise reviews that you're referring to 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning haven't been submitted by you as objections, we unfortunately can't take those into consideration. We can only base our replies and our judgment based on what's in front of us. But thank you for your answer. That's all for me.
That covers everything, but there is a lot more of it. That's what I want you to know, that these are not just one.
Mr. Siddiqui, I think Councillor Assim outlined quite clearly, we can't take you introducing new evidence that you don't have anything to back it up with. And you haven't put, if you want to present that evidence, and you must do so before the hearing. You can't go along and then dump it on us so as nobody can claim one way or the other on it. Everybody has the right to be able to claim, that the information being presented by you is correct or incorrect. But if you dump it on us at the time of the hearing, that can't be done. So I'm ruling it out of order.
No, I'm not doing that, sir. All I'm saying is that there is a video ending 1600, which is out of the time, clear violation of the conditions put onto them. That's one.
Well, the videos we watched weren't doing that. They were earlier than that. They did not go into the early hours of the morning. The videos that you've presented.
I got it here, sir. And
I'm sorry. Sorry. Look, Mr. Siddiqui, that's a fact. I'm not going to debate it with you. That's a fact. We've got the timescales on it, and we know when they were recorded.
So, what is the time of that 11600 video? You tell me. I don't know how the time would be changed.
What?
Can everybody see that video? Can
the videos that you presented, the 6 videos that you presented, have been witnessed now by everybody.
The one ending in 1600.
Mr. Siddiqui, if I could just clarify what the chair is saying, is that the panel, as well as the applicant and their representative, they've all seen the videos that you've submitted. What the chair is explaining to you today is that they've gone one step further to look at the date and the time of when those videos were created. Now, this is based on the information in front of them. In other words, they've looked at the video footage as well as they've looked at the date and time they were created. This is document. This is evidence which they've taken into account.
What is the time?
The videos do not, Mr. Siddiqui, let me just finish. The videos do not, what the chair is saying is that the videos do not have a time showing on the actual footage itself. And so the panel has taken this one step further by looking at the date and time of when those videos were created. You can also have a look at the videos. This is a public hearing, and therefore the videos will not be played here. But every person attending today's hearing has seen the videos, and the panel has looked into the date and time those videos were created. Is that clear?
Yeah, I am clear about that. That's what I'm asking you. That one video that I submitted, it's clearly the video which is after 11:30, and there is a violation of conditions over there. Why is that evidence being misrepresented? That's what I'm questioning. I'm not saying that there's a problem. There's a video ending in 600. And if you consider that video, you can clearly see that people are not drinking. They are only smoking, and they have congregated on the outdoor area in one corner, and they are a lot more than 10.
Okay, Mr. Siddiqui, you've made a reference to the video that ends with 600. When the panel goes into deliberation, they'll revisit the details of, they'll look at the date and time that particular video was created. I've made a note of it, and so has the panel. They will look at the exact time and date that video was created. You're saying it was created after 11 p.m. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, I've made a note of it, and so has the panel. They will look at that individual video as well as the date and time of when that video was created. And that, just for clarity, this is video reference number ending with 600. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Right, can we move on then? I've forgotten where we got to.
I think it's my time to ask questions.
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
Unless Councillor Asim had finished.
Have you finished all your
still have more.
questions, Councillor Asim?
Thank you, Chair. I've finished. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, right.
Great.
Councillor Giles.
Yeah, so sorry, Mr. Siddiqui, I was just wondering, like, how many official complaints have you made about this premises through the official channels within the council?
I can't keep the number of it. It's been many times. I've done it online as well. There has been a police complaint as well when that outdoor music was going on.
Okay, but it's not like you have a record or whatever else. And we haven't asked our enforcement team, Councillor Foote, have we?
No.
For those? No, all right.
But they are,
yeah, all right. And I had a question about kind of the people who are in your car park. How do you know that they are patrons of KTM?
because they park here, they go in there, they come out of there. You can see them in that garden in same dressing.
Okay, so can I just give a piece of advice? I think you need to speak to the management company of your building to ask them to enforce the fact that it's private property and that patrons can't, and that is not a concern to be dealt with in this hearing, but that is something, that is another way for you to avoid that issue. If you feel that people who aren't residents of your property are parking there illegally, it's not the responsibility of this premises in this case.
That's why we protect ourselves wherever we can.
I didn't. Yeah, I can't hear what you're saying. Sorry.
I'm saying that's why we do it as we tell them that this is the private land and they have to leave. It's been 20 minutes they are having a chat here, and now they are getting louder and louder. And in that case, sometimes you.
Yeah, that's. I think you need to follow a different channel course of action there, and that's all my questions at the moment, Councillor Foote.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Giles. Right, Mr. Siddiqui, did you understand what Councillor Giles was saying about you needing to take, if you wish to stop people parking on your premises, you need to take it up with your management committee or management of your site? It's not something that we can deal with.
I know anything out of the premises.
I don't know what you're saying, Mr. Siddiqui.
I do understand, sir, that what happens outside the premises is not within your remit, but it's just to bring into your attention what comes to the area with such activities.
You should take action with your management group for your house. Right, I don't have any questions of you. Any more questions of me, Mr. Siddiqui? So I now go to the others, to the applicants. Do you have any questions, George?
No, Chair.
No. Right. So we now move on. Where are we? I'm losing place. Stop and start, John.
No, Chair, perhaps I could help. It's Kenny's.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now we're at stage 5, which is summing up by the applicant, and that's the bit that you need to be putting to them.
Okay, so it's just the applicant that sums up, isn't it? Yeah.
Summing up, yes. Thank you.
Right, George, well, you've got your opportunity to sum up now.
Thank you, Chair. I'll try to keep this brief. The two contentious proposals are the extension for live and recorded music daily until midnight. If I cover that first, under the current licence, this live and recorded music are permitted until 23:30. So we are asking for a 30-minute extension. Out of interest, the other licensable activities on the premise licence are already permitted to midnight. We're closing at 20 past midnight, so we're not asking for the premises to trade any later than it currently is, albeit we are asking for a 30-minute extension for music. The 30-minute extension for music is for live and recorded music to take place until midnight indoors. Outside, it's just background music. That's what it is. There was, just out of interest for you, my client did have the odd occasional live music outside in 2021 during the summer with the COVID restrictions. They spoke with licensing. It finished at 9 o'clock, but when the COVID situation got better, to speak, all the recorded live music is indoors. That's how KTM operates. They want the beer garden to be used for customers to consume food and drinks. There may be some background recorded music in the beer garden to have some ambience to the environment, but there'll be nothing more amplified than that. That leads on to the second point, which is to allow customers to use the external rear area until 11 o'clock. As I alluded to in my submission last week, this is to allow customers to enjoy food and drink in the area. The proposal would be that after 11 o'clock, this area closes, and then any smokers will be directed to the front of the premises. As I've said before, none of the authorities have objected. Josh and Manera have worked tirelessly with the none of the authorities have objected. Josh and Manera have worked tirelessly with the authorities since they came into the site. It had a bad image as the red line. It had a stigma, which I think Josh and Manera have successfully removed. They have a good work relationship with both the police, the licensing authority, and Ian Inman from Environmental Health. And as I've said, these parties would have objected to the variation if they were concerned or thought the proposals would undermine the licence objectives. We do also have the 9 representations in support from local residents and also customers. And we should be doing everything we can to support the right operators and the right businesses. My client are fully aware of the conditions on their licence. They comply with them. They're quite comprehensive conditions, shall I say, and they just want the premises to continue to be an asset to Feltham. And with the proposals, if they are slight changes, it's a sensible and considered proposals. And the condition will continue to be complied with, and this will continue to promote the licence objective. So I would ask you to grant the application as it appears before you. Thank you. I don't know whether Josh or Manera want to add anything on to that.
Do we?
Briefly, sorry.
Do you have anything to add, Josh? Well,
Not me.
no.
No, we're happy with George's summation. Yep.
Okay. Right, fine. Okay, so we now move on. We've got now those final representations. So we're ready to go into consideration of what's happened. Canice, do you have anything to say?
Yes, Chair. So, and this is the bit where I say my part. So the panel will now retire to go into deliberation room to consider the application and the representations they've received in writing, as well as the representations had today and last week, Tuesday. the panel has the option to, has three options. Firstly, either to grant the application as is, or grant the application in part or in full, subject to standard conditions and with extra conditions, or alternatively, the panel can refuse the application. During the deliberation, only the panel members will be present together with myself. I will be there to advise the panel as the legal advisor. I will not take part in the decision-making process, but provide legal advice to the panel members. Chair, normally we do say that it shouldn't take us anything more than 15 minutes, but if it does, this will be conveyed to those waiting in this room by our support team. Thank you.
Right. Okay, can I then ask my colleagues to retire to the other room, virtual? Right, so we are all here. Are all our guests here? And we got everybody, I think, haven't we? William Lee, Arsalan, Caesar, Joshua. Yes.
Yeah, everybody's here, Chair.
Okay, right. Okay. Well, we've finished our deliberations. And we are accepting the application with a few modifications, which I will go through, and I'm sure my legal advisor will pull me up if I miss any or go wrong on them. But the modifications are to the variation of premises license under the stuff put forward by Charlie Hennessy, his 21 conditions, and we've made several changes here. On item 21, we wish to change the variation there to after 2300 hours, use of the rear gardens shall cease. The front external area of the premises shall be permitted for use by no more than 10 customers at any one time to smoke. So we're saying that cease the garden at 11 o'clock and that smokers go out to the front of the premises thereafter that time. Right, we also believe that you should retain condition 6 from the original licence, which requires quarterly joint meetings between the management and local residents. And we'd like to retain those meetings. Okay, is that clear? Right, anybody that wishes to object to this licence can do so by applying, making an appeal to the local magistrates within 21 days. Full written permission of this licence will be published within 5 working days from today. Have I covered everything, Kenese?
Sorry, Chair. So the written decision will be sent out in 5 working days, excluding today, because we're already outside business hours. So it's 5 working days from tomorrow. And with regards to the right of appeal, it is 21 days to the Magistrates' Court if anyone is aggrieved by today's decision. Chair, I think Mr. Domleo has his hand up. So,
sorry.
Thank you, Kenese. Just quickly, Chair, thank you for the decision. I just want to clarify: is the rest of the variation granted as applied for? It's just those 2 changes that you're making.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I thank you very much for your attendance. I wish you all a safe journey home where you have to travel. And have a comfortable evening if you're already at your destination. So many thanks.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
Councillors.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay.